Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Moustache John. Hey there friends, Moustache John here. International break is over. We are back to league fixtures. This weekend, Barcelona is going to be hosting Valencia as they look to get some revenge for that loss in the Copa del Rey final. In this video, we're going to take a look at Barcelona's lineup. We're also going to talk about some of the headlines going into this weekend's match. Let's go for a ride. So before we talk about the match, let's talk about some of the headlines going into this. Biggest one being the transfer window has closed. Neymar is not coming back to Barcelona, at least for now. I'm happy about that. I know a lot of people who don't have the same feelings that I do about the club and about how Neymar left and how disrespected we all felt. I'm glad that he's not coming back. I know that there's a bit of an upstir right now. Lionel Messi was just interviewed and he said that he's not sure that the club did everything that they could to sign Neymar. He definitely expressed some disappointment, saying that Neymar was desperate to come back to Barcelona and he would love to play with him. Luis Suarez feels the same way, expressing concerns that the club did not do enough to sign Neymar. I think both of those guys, Messi and Suarez, want Neymar to come back because it would all but ensure that they would win another Champions League title so that Messi and Suarez, who are both now past 30, can kind of sail off into the sunset with one more Champions League trophy. For Lionel Messi, he's done enough for the club that we should give him whatever he wants. If that's Neymar, if that's Ronaldo, if that's anybody under the sun, that Lionel Messi says, hey, I need this guy to win one more Champions League final, we should do that for Lionel Messi. He's the only player that I think deserves that at Barcelona or at any club. He deserves anything that he wants. That would be my only reasoning for being okay with Neymar coming back, but it didn't happen. The transfer window's closed. We got to move on. That might be a little bit more difficult than what we would like it to be because we offered up a lot of players to sign Neymar. We told a lot of players that they were spare change, so to speak. Players like Rakitic, players like Dembele, players like Umtiti. How are they going to respond now that they were offered up as Neymar bait and now transfer window's closed and they're still with the club? Rumor has it that Rakitic was straight up told, you're not going to play this year. You're not going to start. You may get some time off the bench, but you are not in the plan, so you better take one of these offers from Juventus or PSG or one of those other clubs because you're not going to be playing this year. So I'm very curious to see if that actually holds up. Rakitic is a phenomenal player. He's world class. He made it to the World Cup final in 2018 with Croatia, partnering with Luka Modric. He's been great for us since 2014, was a very instrumental in our 2015 Champions League final. Who knows with that? And he's one of the few players that actually has a powerful long shot, which draws out those defenders so that we can have our forwards play in behind. Barcelona very often misses out on that when Rakitic isn't on the field. We just don't really have that many players with long distance shooting to do that. So teams can just bunker D and we just have to try to tiki-taka around them and it doesn't always work out. Very curious to see how the team responds now that we're settled in with the lineup that we have. Speaking of lineups, looking at this weekend, there's some notable injuries still. Suarez is coming back. He's in the lineup, so very excited about that. Messi is still injured. He is doing some individual training, but he's not training with the club yet, so he's not at full contact. Probably still at least a few weeks before we see him return. Honestly, might not be a terrible thing. It might be okay that we have to spend some time without Lionel Messi and figure out who's going to step up and score some goals this year, because we can't be so reliant on Messi. We can't be as reliant as we have been for the last 2-3 years. And of course, this isn't really even worth mentioning. It should just be an assumption. Dembele, still injured. Hamstring. I should really just make a clip of me saying Dembele's injured, it's his hamstring, and then just play that every single time. So like I mentioned, with those injuries to Dembele and to Messi and to Umtiti, I think we're going to go with a very similar starting 11 to what we did in the last few matches. Barcelona's coming into this one after a 2-2 draw against Osasuna. Valencia is actually coming off of a win against Mallorca. Both teams sitting with 4 points in the table. Barcelona is surprisingly all the way down in the 8th spot. Valencia is actually sitting at 10. Both teams struggling early on, dropping points to lesser teams that are traditionally lower in the table. Both teams are still looking to really kickstart their season. So Barcelona is going to stick with the 4-3-3. That seems to be what Valverde is running with this year. I think the defense and the goalkeeper don't change from the first 3 matches. Ter Stegen in between the posts, Piqué and Lenglet at center back, Jordi Alba playing left back, and Nelson Semedo on the right back. In the midfield, I think we do see a change. I think Arthur comes in to start. He came on as a substitute against Osasuna, scored that second goal for Barcelona, really looked sharp, changed the game when he came on. So I think he's going to get rewarded with his first start. I think he's going to start next to De Jong. And then in the holding spot, I think that's going to be Sergi Busquets starting out. When we look at our forwards, Luis Suarez is back from injury, like I mentioned. So I think he starts at the number 9, which is going to push Griezmann out left. So at right wing, I'm going to make a little gamble here. I think Ansu Fati gets his first start of the year. He came on as a substitute at halftime against Osasuna, scored a great header, so I think he is also going to be rewarded for that performance, get his first start at the Camp Nou. What I'll be looking for in this match is how does Griezmann adapt going back to that left wing position now that Suarez has returned from injury? How well will De Jong and Arthur play together, potentially getting a full 90 minutes on the pitch? And will Rakitic get any time? He was really tossed around as potential bait for that Neymar deal, so I think there might be some hurt feelings there. Who knows? I would love to see him get plenty of time this season. Like I said, he is a world-class midfielder. For the scoreline, I'm going to say 2-1 to Barcelona, with goals coming from Jordi Alba and Antoine Griezmann. I think Barcelona is going to get about 65% of the possession in this one, given that it is at the Camp Nou. That's it for today, folks. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the predicted starting 11 and the scoreline? Is Valencia going to continue their success against Barcelona, picking up from that Copa del Rey final, or will Barcelona respond and get some revenge? Don't forget, I'm going to be doing a live stream of this match at 3 p.m. Eastern. Right here on YouTube. Link will be on my homepage. So come hang out. I'll be watching the match and giving my commentary. The chat will be on. You can ask me whatever questions you want. We'll talk about all things Barcelona. Have a good time hanging out. As always, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.